And I guess there's this question of, yes, there's like a theory of things, how things could work in a abstract way, but then there's reality where people do things that are illiberal when you give them that kind of power.
This is reality. We are in that world now. We allowed that world to happen with all of our procedures, all of our love of the rules and the institutions, with a presidential election where the Democrats formed a united front of people who believed the institutions were correct just as they were. And we opened the door enough that this came through it. Liberals have become so afraid of bad things happening that they cannot make enough good things happen. They've become so afraid of the government abusing its power that they don't allow the government to use its power for good. There's a great piece, Mark Dunkelman wrote a very related book called Why Nothing Works, but the core of that book was written some years ago in a great piece he wrote about Penn State and how hard it had been to remodel, to redo Penn Station in, not Penn State, I'm sorry, Penn Station. Penn State has its own problems. But Penn Station in New York City. And the point he made was that in this effort to make sure a Robert Moses could never happen again, in this effort to make sure that the government could not act in a way with such fearsome consequences for poor communities, for people who didn't have power, we made it too hard for the government to act consequentially. His book now has this epigraph that if Robert Moses was born today, he couldn't get shit done. And that's the reality of it. Yes, if you make it more possible to wield power, this is an older argument I have with people about things like the filibuster, you will make it more possible for power to be wielded in ways you don't like. And if the strategy of not allowing power to be wielded was working, then we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation. But instead, hundreds of thousands of people are leaving California, Illinois, and Chicago, leading to, if this continues in the census of 2030, a red shift so large that a Democrat could win everything Kamala Harris won, add in the blue wall, and still lose the election. So I would say to the people who say, if we change things, bad things might happen, bad things are happening. Maybe we should change things.